I want to say,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I wanted to hit before you hit I did get my house.
All right.
They
Welcome.
call, they called me at 7 o'clock last night and said she changed her mind and was willing to sell to me.
Oh, look at that.
Hey,
That's
many
great.
blessings.
Yes,
Miracles happen.
they do. Yes. All right. Well, welcome to your self-realization. Let's start with our gratitude. Mother, Father, God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us, wherever we are, so that only the highest and best will occur through our thoughts, words, and actions. And through those thoughts, words, and actions will lead us to a better understanding of our own self. So when we meet those on our path, we have a better understanding of them. We give thanks for this day. Amen.
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 All right, so welcome to self-realization. Today we'll complete out, I don't know, are we completing this out today, David?
Yes.
We're gonna keep doing our breath because I think next week we go on to healing. All right, so last week we talked a lot about the cleansing breath and renewing breath and different types, and talked about putting the cotton ball in our noses and all those things, fun stuff. Today we're going to go on and we're going to talk about a pain breathing technique. So like we said last week, Reverend David used this particular one for when he was in the hospital. So it's very effective. You do too much of it and it can get you to go escort yourself into the facilities. So there's it's pretty powerful what breath does. It's shocking that, it's not shocking, but to evaluate it and look at it like, wow, it can make me go to the bathroom. Wow, that's powerful. So we can really understand what the breath does for us and how healing it is. So this is what pain breath is. Someone would recline in a relaxed position and they would inhale as deeply as possible through the positive nostril and retain the breath for 8 to 16 seconds or heartbeats, whichever you want to consider it. And then slowly exhale through the negative nostril and then repeat it 2 more times, all in 3 times. And inhale as deeply as possible, naturally retaining 8 to 16 heartbeats. And then slowly exhale through the mouth, lips with the O shape. Ooh. So we can try it or just move on with the other ones. It's up to you guys. Does anybody have?
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Okay.
I mean, not too many times, just once maybe.
Yeah.
We're in cars. We haven't any bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We don't want to do it a whole bunch of times. So for all of us, our positive is on which side?
Left.
It's
Is
actually
right.
right. Yeah. And so the negative is the left. So negative and then positive. So when we're doing this, it says, where was it? Inhale with the positive, so the right side. So we're gonna go as deeply as possible and then retain it for 8 to 16, okay? And then slowly, when you get to those seconds, slowly exhale through the negative. So nice and slow. You can try it again, yeah, until you get sorted. It's kind of difficult. So right side is the inhale, 8 to 16. And then you hold it for 8 to 16 also. And then you slowly exhale through the left hand side. I know that's a tricky one, right? You got to get Casey with that nostril. It's kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's getting better.
It'll eventually, I mean, it's one of those things when someone says, don't use it, or you can't use it. But then when you learn that, oh, I could get a little bit of air in there and it could eventually just start to open up. So
Yeah, it's definitely opened up a lot.
What was the part you said about slowly exhale through the mouth with using the letter or
okay,
forming O?
my apology. We didn't finish up here. So when you're exhaling through the negative nose, then you repeat it 2 more times the same way, all in 3 times. And then you inhale as deeply as possible, naturally, retaining 8 to 16 heartbeats, and then slowly exhale through the mouth lips as an O shape. So that's the last one.
Not too difficult. But when you're in pain, it probably is challenging, because pain, can make everything challenging.
Yeah.
But focusing on the breath, like you stated,
Yeah,
will offset that pain. Just like Reverend David didn't even need morphine. I'd be like, hook me up. Just kidding.
And then when you go and you inhale again, and then when you exhale that last one,
do you make a noise?
no,
Okay.
I'm slowly exhaling through the mouth there. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Moving on. We already did rhythmic, didn't we? But yeah. So we're going to go with lung stimulation. When we have in the fall or the winter, or even sometimes for me in the summer, I'm allergic to pretty much everything. When I ended up, well, not anymore. I wonder if they were to do a study on my back, how much it would change, right? But when there's wind usually creates for me to get that lung type, it's almost like the feeling of asthma in a way. It just has that little trickle in there where you go, what is that? So this one's really good for lung stimulation. So this particular one is you would stand and you would inhale very slowly, just regular. Tap the chest with fingertips gently while you're inhaling. And when the lungs are full, you pat the chest with the palm of your hand. And then you exhale with the arms stretched out wide.
I can't write as fast as you can talk.
Okay, so you stand. I could, let's see.
These are recorded, right?
Yeah, and I also have them, on a PDF. So it's kind of, if you guys want me to email you, I could, send those off.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
lovely.
that would be great.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let me just make sure at the end, Casey, when we stop the record, I'll make sure I have it. Pretty
Perfect.
sure. Okay, so the next one is nerve vitalizing. So it stimulates the nervous system.
We're
And
not
this
going to
is-
practice the lung one?
Sure you can. Absolutely. You want to? Yep. Let's go.
I gotta stand outside of my car.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to stand.
Oh, you have to stand. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can't practice. That was a good idea, though.
Let's pass. So nerve vitalizing. Again, it's a standing. So maybe just hear me out on this one.
Mhm.
You stand erect You inhale as deeply as possible, no straining, and retain the breath. You extend the arms straight out in front of you with palms upward. Hold in a relaxed, no tension state with just enough pressure to hold up your hand. And then you slowly bring the hands back to the shoulders, gradually contracting the muscles and clenching the fist. When the hands reach the shoulders, there should be some strain and tension. Keep muscles tense and slowly extend the fist out. Bring arms and fist rapidly back to the shoulders and back out, the pumping type motion. And do this 3 to 4 times. And you retain the breath the entire time. Okay? And then you exhale through the mouth with much force. So that's when you like, yeah. And the mouth should be wide and make a loud ah sound.
Ah.
Now, coming from Qigong, I get this now, why we would make the sounds, because the sounds are important to the organ. Finish with the cleansing breath. So then we go back to that cleansing breath. So that cleansing breath, you want me to repeat that one?
Just to be sure we got it.
Okay. So the cleansing breath would be the inhale as deeply as possible, no exertion or strain. Retain 4 to 8 seconds. Exhale, lips in a whistling position. Do not puff out the cheeks. And then let out a little at a time, very vigorously in short blasts, like what David's doing there. And then when tired, this is very good for being refreshed. So that's a really good one when you're sleepy and you need to get moving on stuff and you're halfway point, 2 o'clock, and you're like, I just want to take a nap. One of those. But that's go ahead.
I said that's my nap time.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, I'll just keep telling these, and that way it's recorded. And if we want to go back, and watch it or whatnot. This one is about the voice. So, Reverend David, why would people use this one on the voice?
Why?
Yeah. Do you remember when we were talking about why, for, like speak?
If you're gonna sing, that's good.
Yeah. So singing, or even like people that have, that haven't, as they're younger, weren't able to speak out, or, hold their, hold your tongue, kids, or go in your room, or whatever, right? There's people that they're not able to speak their truth of who they are. And now they're healing that. This is a good one for that, like they're able to use the voice. So this one is stand with the arms. There's lots of standing here. Stand with the arms bent so that the hands are held against the chest. And inhale very deeply and very slowly with a steady rhythm through the nostrils. And we retain it either 4, 8, 12, or 16, whichever. And then exhale the breath vigorously in one great exertion through the mouth in an O position. Yep. And then rest lungs through cleansing breath exercises. And then rest for 3 to 4 minutes and repeat it. And during the second time, exhale through the mouth wide open with an ah sound. That's that one. So this one is development for the stomach, liver, spleen, blood, and bad breath. Go figure, right? You're like, okay,
Coffee.
yeah. So you
Okay, repeat again. Stomach, liver, spleen.
blood and bad breath. So you're going somewhere, you're like, oh, I just had a coffee and I need to meet up with someone. Okay, I'm gonna hurry and do these exercises. This is funny. Okay, so you'll stand erect. You'll inhale complete breath. So slowly as much as possible. You retain it as long as you can. And then exhale vigorously through the open mouth in ah position. And then you finish with the cleansing breath. Pretty easy. Okay. Moving
Interesting how it help your breath freshen up. That's interesting.
I
That's
mean,
a sit down position? No standing on that one?
it is a standing. It is.
Oh,
It is
okay.
standing.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's in the very.
And I
beginning.
don't think it's just because you ate something. I think it's when you have stomach issues or GI issues and end up with a bad breath. So it's
Mm.
That is exactly right. I would say so just because working with all the organs and stuff like that, stomach, liver, liver is anger too, to think about that, stomach is dealing with anybody that's, earthy, that they have they're concerned about people a lot. They get sensitive stomachs because they're very compassionate to people and they worry about people. So those kinds of things happen when people get upset, like stomach a lot. Blood, bad breath. It's all kind of in relation. The blood deals with the liver and the heart. Blood is really connected with, well, everything's connected with the heart.
If you're a worry wart, do this exercise.
Yeah, that is like what they call an earth person, stomach, dealing with the spleen, the stomach, that's worrying, concern for,
Yeah.
It actually follows astrology because
Oh, does it?
I'm a Virgo. It's an earth sign, and our stomach is like the big tall tale of anything. Yeah, interesting how it all connects.
Does, yeah. And then just doing that, like they always said, no, we have an astrology for it. And then, they follow the Chinese astrology of China and everything. So, but they do coincide. There's lots of coinciding there. So very interesting. Okay, so now we're going to move on to circulation. When we're sitting too much, doing all these classes, etc. Standing erect again. So lots of standing. Inhale slowly and retain the breath. And then bend forward slightly. Now, this is the interesting part. This one, you need a stick or a cane, something to hold on to, okay? So you bend forward slightly. You grasp a stick or cane steadily and firmly. And then you gradually exert the entire strength in the grasp. Okay, so then relax the grasp, return the first position, and slowly exhale through the mouth. And then you repeat it several times. And then you finish.
Which one is this?
This one is circulation. Kind of interesting, huh? You finish with the cleansing breath. So you inhale slowly, retain it, so you're holding it. Then you bend slightly forward, grasping, steadily firm. Gradually exert your entire strength in the grasp. Relax the grasp, return to the regular position, and slowly exhale through the mouth. Very interesting. You repeat it several times. Ain't that something? All right.
Now you hold a stick. Are you putting your attention on the holding of the stick? Is that what I'm gathering?
Yeah, so the grasping is a part of this whole, and then leaning
Yeah.
forward just a bit, you know what I mean? That whole position. Uh, from what I'm gathering too is like in the back of the back, when you're tilted forward a bit, that is a particular acupuncture point of the lower back area. When it stimulates that, it supports the circulation in there. There is a movement that we would do and we kind of go forward like that, and that makes sense to me. It makes sense for circulation why you would bend forward, but you're needing to, so you're actually creating the circulation to happen when you're doing the grip, and then you release it, and then it helps the movement of that again, so it starts to create the circulation process there. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so those are the breath. That is breath.
Wow.
We've gone through them.
Very simple.
Mhm.
Just taking practice and doing them.
Yeah, and just getting to know them, it's,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna use, okay, it's kind of good to, maybe have something somewhere, and then that way you can, if something's maybe even on your phone, when I set it off, having on your phone, if you're somewhere somewhere in a location or whatever, you have a couple minutes, you're having a like you can feel when circulation isn't quite right,
Yeah, your toes are cold. Yeah.
you feel a little, it's not even off, but it's just like, hey, I got to get moving. Your body naturally wants to do something. So yeah, that's it.
That point in the lower back, what does it affect?
It actually helps circulate blood.
Okay.
They're all when I send you off the PDF, I can find out exactly what acupuncture point that is. Trying to think of what
Yeah,
it is.
because that's kind of interesting that I have neuropathy in the feet, and I don't know whether it's from nerves or circulation. They're telling me probably nerves, but surely it wouldn't hurt. When Casey said about cold feet, cold hands, I thought, yeah, well, that's circulation.
And they usually say when someone is cold feet and cold hands, they're young, excessive, which means really, like United States is very young, excessive. We're like too high action, not meditating as much. And because I do get cold feet very easily, and when I learned this from a master in qigong, I said, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I meditate, but he's like, but you are very young, excessive, Angie. I'm like, I am. So
So we're young excessive means you're
high energy,
pushing yourself to do things.
yeah, like yin is more of the quiet, meditative, winter. If you think about winter's quiet, like you're gonna go and the bear is gonna go underground and go into his meditation, and then the yang is more like summer. Yeah, you feel that like that. Okay, so from what we're talking on, of all this breath, we could go right into the meditation and think about all this and self-realize ourselves as we are, as what we know and we've been knowing for centuries about our breath. So if you just close your eyes, get nice and comfortable, and let us concentrate on our breath. As this breath moves through the nostrils, it relaxes each muscle, nerve, and vessel in our being. This breath is what sustains you. It is the breath of life. Feel the relaxation that this breath brings to your being. As this relaxation moves gently in and around each part of your being, it turns into something very beautiful called love. You recognize this love as being alive and active with each breath. Just relax and recognize. As you exhale, you release all physical toxins and negative attitudes you have towards yourself and all people concerned. Relax, recognize, and release. As you are releasing the toxins and attitudes, they are being dispersed into the I am. Gently allow this breath to settle in the feet area. This is the understanding part of our being, and as you understand yourself clearly, then you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leave as this breath moves to the ankles and up the legs. Feeling all agitations and irritations being dissolved. Relax, recognize, and release. As this breath moves to the hip area, relax and release that which does not belong to you. The hip represents independent movement, and you are now free to move in life and free to be you. Allow this breath to move to the base of the spine and the small of the back. Allow this breath to stay here for a few moments. This breath becomes stronger and stronger, for this is the strength area. Strength is confidence, security, and firmness. Now allow the breath to move up the spine. As this breath touches all vertebrae, muscles, and nerves, you feel enlightened, giving up the burdens that do not belong to you and taking care of what does belong to you. As this breath moves up the spine, you feel confident, secure, and firm. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. As this breath touches the shoulders, feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving. The shoulders represent responsibility in life, and know with each breath that you are doing your responsibility in life with freedom and ease. You also allow all other people to do their responsibilities with the same freedom and ease. Allowing this breath now to move down the arms, relaxing, recognizing, and releasing, reaching the hand. The hands are the giving and receiving part of our being. We give to receive and receive to give. As this breath is in the hands area, feel the breath that's between your hands and how good this breath feels. This goodness is you, and you are extremely good. Take this goodness that is you and place it in the lower abdomen area. The greatest gift of all lies here, life. You are full of life, and life is full of you. Life is happiness, health, and wealth. You eliminate all that hinders you from life, and you put order into your life. Order is the adjusting of all mind powers, moving in harmonious manner for life. Very gently, allow the breath to move to the stomach area. The stomach is the judgment area, and let us fully and freely release all mistakes and judgments that have made and have led to mistaken action. Replace with correct judgments that lead to correct action. Relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving, allowing this breath to move to the heart area. The heart is the love area of our being, and with each beat of the heart, love moves to each part of our body. We radiate that love, and wherever we go, this radiance is felt, and the universe gives back to you that radiance. Relaxing, recognizing, and releasing. that which does not belong to you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the throat area. The throat is the power area in life. You are in command of your life and you are at ease with that command. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. Very gently allow this breath to move to the back of the head, to the very crown of the head, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. You are relaxing, recognizing, and releasing. As you're in the relaxed state, think, feel, or see yourself walking down a path. You feel the path beneath your feet. You notice the green grass that lines this path. You notice the sun twinkling through the trees that also line this path. As you walk down the path, there's a gentle breeze that touches your body. This is the breath of life. Allows you to take the next step in knowing yourself. As you walk down the path, there's a clearing in front of you. And as you walk into the clearing, the softness of the grass touches your feet. Knowing that you are very protected, you walk into the clearing, and there's a body of water that is crystal clear and warm to your touch. There are paths that lead away from the clearing. As you walk to the body of water, if you choose to go in the water, submerging completely in the water, breathing freely and all organs functioning properly, know that you are very protected. If you choose to lay beside the water, absorbing the 4 elements, the sun, the water, the air, and the earth, or you may choose to explore the paths, feel free to do so and enjoy. remembering all that you have seen, felt, or heard, feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. You notice your healing clarity from your healing circle, and you notice that every one of us surround that healing circle, and you notice that we become one healing breath, one healing breath. We direct this healing breath to the healing box, and for all that souls making and have made transition, all the institutes that health, that state that peace is the journey and destination, all those affected by the winds and the rain, the snows and the movement of the earth and the fires, that they are all protected and healed. As you're aware of your healing presence, and as you move towards your path, you notice anything changed, moved, or taken away. And when you're on your path, your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you have seen, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. And when your mental and physical consciousness is fully aware, open your eyes. Hi there.
Hi.
All right, how did everybody do here? Let me collect here. How about you, Lady J? How did you do?
Well, I must say, it's a little harder in the car.
A little bit of distraction there?
Well, I had no problem following along, except the noise of the car, you know, because I have to have the heat on. It's only 45 degrees here, so. But this time, instead of, usually I either go in the water or I go on a path to the left. And this time I was really called to this path kind of on the other side of the water to the right. So I had to walk around the water. And when I got, it became a wooded area again, which I hadn't seen when I started that way. And then I was back to where my regular, what I call my happy place is, which is a tree with moss on it that I sit with my back against, and there's a little creek there. And this deer came up and was sniffing of me. And I've seen that deer before, but he's never been close. He's always been, you know, 8 or 10 feet away at least. And then he let me kind of rub on his ear, you know, behind his ear like you would for a dog. It was just a really quite an experience. And then the car kicked on, and that brought me back to reality. And I never, there's lots to watch here.
Yeah.
You know, car doors slamming and, you know, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, it was really lovely. I mean, and the experience with the deer was just, and I just realized that being in nature is so important.
Totally. Yeah. You know, and timing, you know, how we want it to be a certain way or whatnot. We want the full effect. But when we do know how to get there, because we are there, right? If we're in it and it's only been, you know, a couple minutes or whatever, that's very valuable. You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is that we do, you know, even if it wasn't for that, you know, entirety or whatnot, it doesn't necessarily need to be, right?
No, I felt really refreshed by it all. So
Great.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. How about you, Casey?
Well, yeah, it was very lovely. I went into the water, excuse me, and I got out of the water, and then I walked toward the field again, but the field was different, and I sensed difference. And I was growing crops, all these fruits and vegetables and plants I'm not recognizing. If I had to put it into context, I would say it'd be like somewhere in like the rainforest is where I was. And these things were like mushrooms, just plants that were organic to the earth. And I started gathering in this thing, and I didn't know, but I knew what I was getting. Does that make sense? Um, and as I was gathering all these things, I walked into this path that led me to my Adobe style home. It was a very simple home, probably I'm thinking like 3,000 years ago, because it just had a fireplace, like, that you can build in the Adobe. So I feel maybe it was maybe South Mexico. I don't know. Again, it was fuzzy on that. But I do know is that when I went into my space, there was people waiting outside of my home. And as I went into my space, I started inviting people one by one. And when they come in, it would be a child who maybe had really terrible anxiety or really terrible at whatever it may be. And I would gather certain things from the shelves, like I had like little makeshift like adobe shelves. And some of them were dried herbs, some of them were fresh fruit that I plucked or whatever it was, organic food, and I was giving them to heal their children. I knew what to do to give them to provide nourishment and health. This is prior to any kind of Tylenol or anything like that. And they'd offer me money for, thank you, and I wouldn't take it. And then before they would leave, I would give them a basket full of fresh produce to feed them, and I would hand it over to them, and they were grateful. And then the next group would come in with certain other issues, and I would just give and find them the right medicines to help them, or plants to help them, not really medicine. And that was it. It was really fulfilling. I felt great when I got out of it. I felt like that's very giving, that's very loving. I'm glad I got to see that.
Yeah. Yum. Another life.
Yeah.
That's your other life. You're the healer. Perfect, because we'll go right into that on the next. Great. Reverend David, how did you do?
Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a lot of peace and moving through the things that are opening up with me right now. Uh, uh, the energy that's going in there, the breathing there is going to be very beneficial. So it was it gives you some insight to do some things in the next week. Thank you.
You're welcome. I
Great.
too, yeah, it is great. I too had an experience this last couple days where I found myself when I was growing up. First of all, I was always, kind of feel like I was hyperventilating all the time. I wasn't really breathing, and it's just very, very much full of a lot of hyperactivity. And what I did find this week was that I was, in action getting some things done. And I found myself doing a habit of talking, like when I'm responding to someone and talking to them and I was like, whoa. When I got in the car, I said, I'm not even breathing. Well, I am, obviously, because, I'm alive. But I found that I had reverted into something that was something similar when I was young. And, you'd run around the playground or whatever you're doing and really full of activity, and you don't really breathe. And I found myself in that space.
Right.
And I did myself a favor and said, stop, don't put the keys in the car yet, and I did a breathing session for myself, and it felt really good. It's like nurturing yourself when you know that you're kind of stepping out of something that's not the ordinary. You're doing maybe something of old habit. And so I really enjoyed that. I took my moment and took care of myself. So breath is good. Breath is great. All right. So next week we are going straight into healing, and healing is for, let's see, what, 5 weeks, I think, David, or isn't that?
Yeah, it's about that way, yeah.
Yeah, we got 2, 4, 6 weeks of healing. People get certified in Arizona as an Arizona hands-on healer. And usually when we get to that point, because we're going to be talking a lot about different things all the way up until towards the, about half to 2/3 in, that's when we get into about hands-on. But you'll get a lot of information about self-healing first. So come and join us for that. And I really do thank you both for coming on over for some breath information. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And David.
Thank you. It was absolutely wonderful.
And are we all straight on the times we're gonna meet?
Oh, thank you for that. I meant to talk to you guys about this in the very beginning. So obviously we have time change for
Oh, yeah.
Casey and Lady J. So Lady J, I believe you're gonna be our time zone.
Yes, we turn back to be the same as you.
Yeah.
What time? So what time do you start down there? 10 o'clock?
Yeah, we start at 10.
Oh, that's perfect for me.
And then right now, Casey, you're at 10 to 11, right? Currently?
Yeah. So it'll become 9 to 10.
Yeah, how's that gonna work out for you?
Better. Because then, yeah, at 10 o'clock, I can take my son to guitars. So everything works out. God always makes it work out.
All right.
Mhm.
And you can be in the car too. Come on.
Yeah, I don't mind. I got some sunlight. I'm happy.
We can go anywhere nowadays, so this is really great. All
We-
right.
We live in a precision world.
We certainly do. We do, yes.
It's lovely. It's really lovely.
Okay.
And I thank you both so much for everything. Yeah, I mean, every time I do this, I feel like I'm tapping into something deeper within myself, further and further and further than I've ever gone.
You are.
And yeah, I'll be in Tucson Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, you
I'm going. Yeah, I'm going back to Miraval. Bringing my good friend who's never been, and I wanted to bless her with this, so I paid for her trip, for her flight, and I just told her just focus on sessions. So she's gonna actually meet with Reverend Alexandra. She squeezed her in, and then the following weekend I'm bringing my husband out to Miraval, Tucson, Monday and Tuesday. Yeah.
So are you staying for the 2 weeks?
I'm just going 2 days and 2 days because it's an hour flight. Yeah. So I'll be in your neighborhood.
All right. Well, we'll just connect with you then, and then you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you want to get his email
Oh.
so that you can send us the thing. But we
Let
got to
me-
stop the recording first. And
Yeah.
I'm going to sign off.
Okay. Okay, Lady J.
She's on.
So we'll do our gratitude prayer and then I'll shut it down. And then
Sounds good.
Okay. Mother, Father God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us as we go on our path. So when we meet those on our passage, we share the love that is so abundant. We give thanks for this day. Amen.